All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone doing good. Yeah, good afternoon, Jason. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm audible for you guys. Just confirm me that. Am I audible? Yeah. All right. All right. So, what was the last topic we discussed on? Anyone? So, social engineering, right? About the phishing and all those things. And I think I have given some tasks for you. So, done with that. Yes. Great. All right. So, today we'll go with a new model called firewall and IDS IPS. So, how many of you guys aware of these firewalls and these intrusion detection systems and prevention systems? Like, how many of you are aware of these things? Any idea about the firewalls, IDS, IPS, how the firewalls will work? Hmm? Okay. Firewall is a security system. Okay. Anyone? Right. We'll discuss that. So today we'll go with the firewalls. So first, let me go with the firewall, and then we'll see what is the workflow of uh, the IDS, IPS, and firewalls. Okay. Just give me a second. So firewall actually it will work based on the rule sets, means the signatures whatever will be. So firewall it may be a software or it may be a hardware, anything it may be. Okay, so firewall is a software or hardware based systems. So which are located at the gateway where that protects all the resources of private network and public network. So for example, you can see here. So this is a firewall where it is located at the gateway. So whatever the incoming traffic and outgoing traffic, whatever it is happened within the gateway will be filtered. So you can see here, this is a firewall setup actually. So they're placed at the junction or gateway between the two networks. It may be a private network and public network. Okay. So whatever the traffic it is getting in and whatever the traffic it is going out will be examined. Will be examined. It will examine all the messages entering or leaving the internet
Hmm?
and
How there? Hmm.
it will check accordingly. Okay. All right. So it work accordingly, whatever the rules set. So whatever the rules we have given, according to that rules, your firewall will be working. Right. So firewalls may be concerned with the type of traffic or with the source or destination address and the ports. So they include a set of tools where that monitors the flow of traffic between the networks, and a firewall placed at the network level and working closely with the router filters all the network packets to determine whether to forward that packet to the destination or not. It will check that. So it always install the firewalls away from the rest of the networks, means away from the rest of the network, so that node of the incoming traffic can gain the direct access to the private network resources. So they configured the firewalls to protect the systems on one side of it from system on the other side of system, right? So it placed it between the incoming and outgoing, means in the private and public network, right? So and these firewall will be filtered according to the rules. So again, as I mentioned, we have the firewall in two types. One is software firewall and another one is hardware firewall. Right. So what is the difference between these two? Anyone? What is the difference between the software firewall and what is the difference between the hardware firewall? Is that clear, everyone? Firewall. So firewall will filter the packets, whatever it is coming into the network and going outside the network based on the rules, whatever given by the administrator, right? It works according to the set of rules, remember, or set of signatures. Got it? So when it comes to the hardware firewall and software firewall, you can see this is a hardware firewall. Okay. And let me take a software firewall. Okay. So imagine this is the hardware firewalls. So again, don't think like hardware firewalls is something different. No, it's like your routers only. Your router is also kind of a hardware firewall for you as a base level. But when you go to the Google and if you search for the hardware firewall, you'll get the Cisco firewall, Juniper, Palo Alto, or Sophos. There are many different vendors we have. Okay, you can see these are all the hardware firewalls. Like this, there will be a firewall which will be configured to your gateway. It starts from around some thousands of rupees to lakhs of rupees. It will be there where you can purchase them and you can use. Okay. So this is a hardware firewall where we configure that to the gateway. So what is the difference of these two? Hmm? What is the difference of these two? Remember, hardware firewall is a dedicated firewall. Okay, remember, hardware firewall is a dedicated firewall where it is placed on the perimeter of the network. Okay, so whatever the packet you are receiving will be first entered into the firewall only. It will first entered into your firewall only. Then only it will go for the network. Okay, just a second. Yeah, sorry for that. So when it comes to the hardware firewall, whatever the packets you're receiving will first received by your hardware firewall. And based on the rule set, whatever it has, it will filter accordingly and it will allow the packet inside your network. So when you configure the hardware firewall, it is protecting complete network. So getting my point? Are you guys able to follow me? When it is a hardware firewall, it protects entire network here. So whatever the packets you're receiving, the first will received by the hardware firewall only. Then only it will allow you into the network. So before entering into your network, it is securing the and filtering the packets. Is that clear, everyone? Means it is functioning on individual systems. Okay. Means it is securing complete network here. All right. When it comes to the software, it's kind of a software which having in your system, like it's a normal software, a program which installed on your computer, just like a normal software. It is generally used to filter the traffic for individual home users. Like for example, if you take your Windows firewall. So if you say I'm using my Windows firewall, so even you guys will have the Windows firewall in your system. Let me search for firewall. So you have Windows Defender firewall. So it's a when you go for advanced settings, and if you see there is a inbound rules and outbound rules. Can you see? Can you see that? And this is working according to this rule set only, right? So you have the program, profile, enable, action, override, program, local address, remote address, everything. So according to this rule set, the packet will be filtered. Outgoing is outbound, incoming is inbound rules, right? And you can create your own rule. Click on new rule, and if it is a program, you can give the program, or if it is a custom, click on custom, go with next. So is that a program you want to block, or is that a program file you want to allow? Whatever, maybe all programs, go with all programs. And which port you want to block? TCP, UDP, PGM, ICMP, version 6, version 4, IGMP, like what port you want to be, any port you can go with that, and click on next. And is there any specific address, IP address you want to block, or you want to allow? You can give that particular address. Let me go with next. So block, allow, or secure. You can see the actions also. According to the action only your firewall will perform. If I mention the action as block, if that rule set matches, it will block that activity. If I mention allow, it will allow that activity. So depends on the action, it will perform the thing. So on all domain, private and public connections, it should be there, and you can give the name and you can click on finish. It will set a rule for you, right? So like that, you need to write your own. You can customize your own rule set and you can filter them. So whenever it is entering into my system, it will check with that firewall and then only it will allow that. Okay. So is this firewall, whatever the firewall I'm using, like Windows Defender, is this securing my system or my entire network? Is this firewall is securing my system or entire network? What do you think? What it is securing here? Hmm? Is this firewall, like this Windows Defender, is securing only my system or is securing my entire system, my entire network? Only my system, right? So that is what the software firewall. So it works individually. So when it comes to the hardware, it is used to filter out the network traffic for large business networks. Means complete network it will filter. Okay. And when it comes to the software firewall, it is generally used to filter the traffic for individual home users. Means it only filter the traffic of the computer on which it is installed, not entire network. Got it? That is what the difference between the hardware firewall and software firewall. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? Right. So the advantage of this hardware firewall is speed and minimal interference. Means your hardware firewall is separate network component. It can enable better management and allows the firewall to shut down, move, or be reconfigured without much interference in the network. And security, why? Because its operating system is considered to reduce the security risk and increase the level of security controls in a hardware, right? And the more disadvantage is expensive. We need to purchase them. Hardware firewalls is not for free. You have to purchase them. Okay. And difficult to implement, to configure them, and consumes more space and involving the cables also. When it comes to the software, less expensive than the hardware firewall and ideal for the personal and home users, and easier to configure and reconfigure the things. And but it consumes system resources more and difficult to uninstall them and not appropriate for the environments require faster response time. So that is what disadvantages you can see in software. So this is what the difference between the software firewall and hardware firewall. Is that clear, everyone? The difference of software and hardware firewall. Is that clear, everyone? Right. So now we'll go with the firewall technologies here. So till now we have seen the firewall types. Now you can see a software firewall is nothing but a firewall which filters within your system. It's a program which was installed in your system itself. Okay, so whatever the packets your system is receiving will filter according to the firewall rule set what you have in your system. Okay, so it is not uh, filtering entire network here. Okay, it is not filtering the entire network. It is filtering only the system which you have installed that software. That is why we use the software firewall. So firewall technologies we have. All right. So there are different types of firewalls I have seen. One is hardware firewall and software firewalls. And these hardware and software firewalls use some technologies like packet filtering. First we have is packet filtering firewall. And next we have circuit level gateway firewall. And next we have application level firewall. And next we have stateful multi-layer inspection firewall. And the next we have is the next generation firewall. So I'll show you what are the next generation firewall, NGFW. So these are the these are the hardware level firewalls, actually, the next generation firewalls. So, okay. So here you can see we have different types of technologies in firewalls. One is packet filtering firewall. So what is this packet filtering firewall? So let me explain you. It will only filter the what you can say these headers, means what is the source IP, what is the destination IP, what is the source port, what is the destination port. Only it look for that particular header information. Actually, that is what the packet filtering. Mostly you can see in your routers. So routers will work accordingly to the packet filtering firewall. So for example, let me take a rule set for you. So you can see this. Can you see the rule? This is actually packet filtering rule set. So source address, source port, destination address, destination port. Sometimes it will be the protocol and then action. Means here the packet filtering is only checking for the header information. Means traffic allowed based on the source and destination IP address, packet type, and port numbers only. That is what packet filtering. Okay. So each packet is compared with the set of criteria before it is forwarded. And the criteria depends on these rule sets, whatever we are writing here. Okay. So this is the rule set of packet filtering. So if you observe in packet filtering, it is only checking for the packet, means the header. It is not checking the data. Remember, it is not checking the data. It's checking the header part only. Okay, source IP address, destination IP address, source port address, destination port address, TCP flag bytes, protocols, direction, and interfaces. Only these information will be filtered by packet filtering firewall. Is that clear, everyone? Right. And when it comes to the circuit level When it comes to the circuit level, it is checking for only the sessions. Means it works at the session layer of OSI model. Okay, it works at the session layer of the OSI model, the circuit level firewall. Packet filtering is only looking for the source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, and protocols. Means, for example, this is your data, and along with your data, it is checking the header. So in packet, it is only analyzing the header part, not the data. So remember that. Okay. When it comes to the circuit level gateway, it is checking for session rules. So these firewall will work at the session layer of OSI model or transport layer of TCP/IP model, and it forwards the data between the networks without verification and blocks the incoming packets from the host, but allows the traffic to pass through itself. That is what this circuit level do. So information, whatever we have passed to the remote computers through a circuit level gateway will appear to have the originated from the gateway. So as the incoming traffic carries the IP address of the proxy or whatever the sources it is having, it collects that information and it monitors the request to create the sessions and determine if those sessions will be allowed or not. So it controls the network services and host requests, this particular firewall. So to determine whether the requested session is valid or not, it checks the TCP handshake between the packets, then only it will allow that. That is how the circuit level gateway works. So this completely monitor the sessions. Remember. So it checks whether the requested session is valid or not through TCP handshake between the packets. So these firewall allow or prevent the data streams that they do not filter the individual packets. So they are relatively inexpensive and hide the information about the private network that they're protecting for. Okay, that is what circuit level gateway firewall you guys can see. So it looks for the session. So whatever the sessions we are having, it looks for that particular sessions and it will allow that activity, whether the session is genuine or not, whether the session is authenticated or not, whether the session to be determined to be allowed or not, it will check. And then only it will allow the packet. That is what session. And when it comes to the application, it works at the application layer of OSI model. This is application level firewall. Okay. It looks for the applications here. So whatever the data we send through the applications or exchanging the data through the applications will be filtered. So as I mentioned, in packet filtering, it is checking only the header part, right? But here it looks for the data also in application level. You getting my point? All right. So it focuses on the application rather than the packet. So application level gateway can filter the packets at the application layer of OSM model. So whatever the incoming and outgoing traffic is restricted to the services supported by the proxy, all the other service requests are denied. So the need for an application level firewall arises a tremendous amount of voice, video, or collaborative traffic in the data link layer and network layer. So which may be used for unauthorized access to internal and external networks also. So application level gateways configured as the web proxies provided to the FTP or other traffics here. So they examine the traffic and filter the application specific commands such as the HTTP post request or get request, everything will be filtered. Okay. So they analyze the application information to make the decisions as to whether to permit the traffic or not by analyzing the application level content. Got it? So that is what the application level gateway firewall here. Okay. And next we have the stateful multi-layer inspection firewall. So it is a combination of all these three. Means it filters the packet, it filters the data, it filters the headers, it filters the sessions too. So this is what we say as a stateful multi-layer inspection firewall. So it's a combination of circuit, packet, and application. So in packet filtering, it is only looking for the header part. In circuit, it is looking for the sessions. In applications, it is looking for the packets, the complete packets. So all these three are examined by the stateful multi-layer inspection firewall. Okay. So as we seen three above, it will be filtered. So using this stateful packet filtering, you can overcome the limitations of packet filled firewalls, which can only filter the IP address, all these things. It can go a more deeper packet inspection. So it performs a deep packet inspection, not only the header or not only the session, it will go internally and check the packet in detail. That is what the deep packet inspection firewall do. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? So these are the firewall technologies we have. One is packet filtering firewall, which look and examine the header parts, circuit level, which examine the sessions, applications, which look for the packets, stateful, all the three above we call as a stateful multi-layer inspection firewall. And when it comes to the next generation firewall, so next generation firewalls are what you can say, these are the hardware firewall scenarios where it contains all these things in together. For example, let me show you. For example, we have these firewalls, right? The hardware firewalls. We don't have any hardware firewalls right now, but for demonstration purpose, we have some source here, which is FortiGate they have given. FortiGate firewall will be there. FortiGate demo. Search for, they'll give an interface. I'll show you how these firewalls will be real time. When you configure that to your gateway, they'll give the address where to interact with that firewall. The password is demo, and demo you can go. You can see that we are using a demo of the FortiGate firewall, how it will be and what features they have given. For that, we have only read-only option. You can't configure the firewall. You can just view what it contains. You're getting my point? You can just view what it contains actually. Okay, you can't configure the firewall here. Configure that, you need to purchase that firewall. You need to configure that to your gateway, and then it will provide an interface. You can log into that interface, and it will show you this dashboard. Can you see where it is contains the IPS, antiviruses, web filters, everything? This is a dashboard actually. Okay, you can see what it contains, license, the IPS services, everything. So if you see here, we have the system in that you can administrate that. Go with security fabric. Security profile. So can you see the security profile here? Is that visible for you guys? Is that visible for you? Yes. Right. So you can see here, we have these options. Can you see the security profiles? In this, we have the antivirus, a web filter, video filter, TNS filter, even the application controls, inline CASB, intrusion preventions, file filters, everything you can see. So everything means it's not only a normal firewall. This firewall will contain all these features. We call them as a blades, blades, we call them here. So they'll come internally. Do you have the intrusion prevention systems in your Windows? Do you have intrusion detection systems in your Windows? Do you have antivirus separately in your Windows? No, right? Just having a software level firewall, which is having some predefined rules. So you don't have any IDS or IPS or antivirus in your. But if you take the next generation firewalls, what is the advantage is they'll come with all these features. It has inbuilt antivirus, it has web filters, it has video filters. If you go to the web filters, you can see them. They have the configurations, pre-configurations. You can configure by your own, or else you can use their configurations. So you can just click on the default. It will show you the rules for you. Can you see? alternate beliefs, abortion, means whatever the content which are related to these keywords, what it is doing, what it is doing. So can you see they have written some keywords here. These are the web filters actually. So whenever you're looking for the gambling, nudity, or pornography, what they are doing, it is blocking that activity. So there are some pre-configured scenarios will be there. If you want to add anything, here you can go with the name, you can add that filter and you can set that to this particular thing. So whatever the packet it is receiving through that, it will filter with these particular rules and then it will allow you to access that services. Same like you have video filters, TNS filters. If you see the intrusion prevention systems, right? So Wi-Fi based intrusion prevention systems like pre-configured signatures will be there. Can you see the signatures and filters? It is loading them. And even you have the botnet and command and controls. Can you see this signatures? You can add your signature. If you want to, you can add your signature. So file rest, router, password, reset, backdoor. It has some default, can you see? It has some default attacks, default threats they have given to the they have set to the firewall. So whenever anyone performing this attack, like for example, if they are performing this attack CVE, so immediately your firewall will detect that and it will block that activity. If anyone trying to perform the attack on your system also, it will detect that and it will stop. Means it performs block option. Right? Is that clear for you guys? How these firewalls will work actually? It has a predefined signatures, rules. So it works according to that rule set or signatures. So whenever anyone performing any attack, it looks according to the CVE and it will block that activity. Is that clear for you guys? How this firewall will work? So no, just confirm me that. So is that clear? So if anyone perform SQL injections, you can see the severity they have mentioned predefined, target, OS, and action is blocked. So it will work according to the rule set, whatever we are giving here. So everything like email filters will be there, WAF, web application firewalls will be there. So we have to purchase them and you have to configure that to your gateway and you can go with it. And you can monitor them through this particular dashboard. You can see the status, what are the packets, what are the bandwidth, what are the DNS requests you're getting. You can see the network flow, everything you can monitor from here, from this dashboard. So how much amount of data outbound and the inbound they are getting, and application bandwidth. You can see 40 view session bytes. What are the sessions and what are the devices connected right now, and the bandwidth of the activities. So all these things you can see. So NGFW is nothing but next generation firewalls. Okay. So these are all the next generation. There are many next generation firewalls you can see. In that, as a demonstration, I have took the FortiGate and your Windows Defender. So you have many checkpoint firewalls will be there. So checkpoint firewalls, you can see this is also a next generation firewalls. Nowadays they are powered with the AI. They are using the AI services also. They look for the patterns. You can see these are all the industrial ICS based firewalls we have. So DOS and DDoS protection applications we have. Business based firewalls we have. So you can purchase them accordingly. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? So that is what the next generation firewall. So where next generation firewall will contain all these things, right? So what we discussed till now. So discussed about the firewall, types of firewall, and then firewall technologies. And what are the firewall limitations? Anyone? Limitations in the sense what it can't do, what firewall can't do. Firewall limitations. Take that as a task. I need what firewall can't do. Given that as a task, just do that and submit. So what are firewall limitations we have that you need to find? How much costs are which one? Hardware firewalls. I didn't get your question. Kalyan. How much costs a non-stop user? Mhm. So find that I need minimum 5 to 6. Firewall is a use in particular purpose. Okay, you're saying the limitations of firewall. Not able to stop the user. Uh, no, it works according to the rule set, right? It can stop the user if it matches with the signature. Just find that. Let me know that. Just go with the uh, limitations. Yeah, internal threat sometimes it won't detect. Already affected systems, it can't be detected the activities. So just get that. I need the limitations of firewall. Okay. Then what is this IDS? What is the difference between this IDS, IPS? Till now we have seen the firewalls, right? Till now you got to know what is firewall and how it works. Then what about the IDS and IPS? What they do? And what is the difference between this firewall and IDS, IPS? Is there anyone which is not able to do project because of this? Pandey, first go through the session. We'll discuss about the project work. Will team get back to you? They'll explain you. Okay. We'll discuss about the project thing next. When you get the time, we'll discuss that. I told you in last session also. The team will once contact you and they'll explain you how the things work. Don't worry about that. Just first listen to the session. Have you done with your task? Huh? You done all these 14 tasks, the assignments? See, as again, I'm telling you, projects are not that much mandatory here. The assignments and the test what you are attending is mandatory for this program, especially for this internship. Hmm? So go with the session first. Whoever messaging about the projects, make sure I'll remove you guys. I'll remember your names also. First, listen to the session. I'm taking the session here. All right. So when it comes to the firewalls and IDS IPS, what are the? So what is the difference of firewalls and IDS IPS? Anyone? Now you got to know what is firewall, right? You have an idea about the firewall. But what about the IDS and IPS and how you differentiate these two things? So when it comes to the intrusion detection system, we call this as a intrusion detections and intrusion prevention systems, we say. Okay. And major difference is, I can tell you that, for example, there is a college. Imagine this is your college. In front of your college, you have a gate. So this is your college. We have a gate in front of this, and we have a security guard. As a management, they have given some instruction to your watchman or the security guard saying that allow the people who are wearing the ID card. Okay, allow the people who are wearing the ID card. So what is his duty now? He check each and every person's ID card, then only will allow inside the college. Right. Is there any possibility to bypass this person? Is there any possibility to bypass this person? Is there any possibility? No. Hmm. Can't I jump through this wall if there is a chance? Or else, yeah, as a fake ID, or else making him busy with another person. Can't I take the entry? I can go in that way, right? There are many ways, right? Where we can go with the back side of the college or else jumping through these walls. We can do this. So we can do that activities. We can bypass them. What if I install the CCTVs all 360 degrees and monitoring each and every person in that control room? At the time, is that possible for you to bypass? Here, I'm not going with the security guard now. I'm going with the CCTV. So I installed all the CCTVs, all in 360 degree in the college, and monitoring from the a certain single place, control room, and giving the instruction to these security guards. At the time, is that possible for you to jump to do? No, right? So that is what the difference between the security guard and the CCTVs. So where firewall is a kind of a security guard, CCTV are kind of an IDS IPS, which is intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems. So what's the difference of these are? Let me show you the workflow of the IDS, then I'll go with that. Okay. So same IDS are kind of an next generation firewalls only. So this is what IDS actually works. So how IDS works in the sense like this. So whatever the packets you're receiving will received by the firewall. Firewall will filter according to the rule set what you have. Okay. Okay. It will filter according to the rule set whatever you have. Once it done with the firewall, then it will go to the IDS. It may be a software or hardware. Again, the IDS is maybe a software or a hardware. Okay. And it will go and check with the signature files it contains. So it will look for the signature file of the packet, and that signature will be validated with the database, whatever it is having the signature database. If that signature matched with the database, then what it do? It send that request to the action rules. So action rules, whatever you keep, it may be allow, or it may be a deny, or it may be a restrict, or it may be anything, or block, whatever it may be, according to the rule set, it will block. If it is not matching, means whatever the signature of the file is genuine and it is not there in the signature, then it will go to the anomaly detection, means it will go with the behavior pattern. Okay, it will go and check with the behavior. Right. It checks whether the file is going to drop any signature, any files in our systems. Means it look for the pattern of that file. If that pattern matches, then it will go with the rule set again. If not match, again it will go to the deep packet inspection. If you remember, stateful multi-layer inspection, which is nothing but deep packet inspection. So it can be performed the deep packet inspection. If it matches with that, then it will send to the action rules. If not, it sends to the network. Means, can you see? It's checking the signature, it's checking the behavior, it's checking the detailed information. Can you see that? When it comes to the firewall, it checks only the rule. Means this packet should be allowed or not. It checks whether it checks the IP address, it passes, it will allow inside the network. But when it comes to the IDS, it is going with the, sorry, just a second. So it is going with the signature based behavior analysis, sorry, signature based analysis, behavior based analysis, and deep packet inspection level analysis. Then only it is allowing into the system. Okay. So if you see, I'm having the antivirus, I'm using the Norton actually. If you see, this is my Norton. If you go to, you can see my Norton is having inbuilt behavior protections. Can you see? I'm having the behavior protections. I'm having the smart firewall. I'm having the intrusion preventions, email protections, browser protections, download intelligence. It checks for all. Whenever I download any file also, it will validate that file, whether the file is genuine or not. If I go to the firewall, it gives the firewall also. So you can see intrusion and browser protection. So here you have the configure option. So you can see already they have configured all the signature. Can you see the signature ID and signature name? Can you see that? These are all the signatures only. You can see here. See how many signatures, the known signatures it has. So whenever the packet is receiving, if someone, for example, you guys are performing attack on my machine. So obviously it will identify the pattern of attack. It may be a SQL injection or it may be a web-based attack. It may be anything. It checks with these signatures. If that matches, it will block that activity there itself. I can deactivate them. I can activate them. Okay. So I have activated all of them. So whenever anyone performed attack or whenever anyone sending any malware, it will check with these signatures. Then only it will allow inside my system. Right. For example, uh, as you know, the packet filtering firewall and all those things which are inbuilt in your next generation firewalls. And what is the difference between this IDS and IPS then? What is the difference between the IDS and IPS? Same. IDS is nothing but intrusion detection system. IPS is nothing but intrusion prevention system. Okay. And it has a signature recognition. It has an anomaly detection. It has a protocol anomaly detection, which we call as a deep packet inspection. So we have three activities. This is how the IDS detects an intrusion based on the signature, based on the behavior, based on the packet. Then what about the IPS? Same. IPS will do the same thing, but here it perform the action. Okay, for example, let me take my system in that I'm having a malware. Okay, I'm having a malware. Let me extract this malware. Okay, so let me extract this. So I extracted that malware. So it has been removed. Can you see? My system automatically detected that and it removed. It's working on it. It says, I get back and again if I come, it says this folder is empty. So actually it contains the file. If you open the zip file, it will show you there is a 7C file actually. Okay. But when I extracted that file, it says folder is empty. Means my Norton, whatever the antivirus I'm using, it has a IPS service, which is intrusion prevention service. So what it is saying, actually you'll get an alert here. I don't know, it's taking time, but fine. So what happened here? It didn't inform me that it is removing. If you observe, it didn't remove that things. Okay. It directly removed that file from my system. If you observe, it didn't inform me that it is a malware, so I'm removing like that. It is not said anything. First, it performed the action, then it is giving the alert. It will give the alert for you. Actually, it says the threat detected and gives the alert for you. So the difference of IDS and IPS is, in IDS, first it will detect and then it will remove. Means first it will go with the alert and then it perform the action. According to my point, in IDS, first it will give an alert, means it will detect that malware, it gives an alert, then it perform the action. Means you'll get like this, your system is having a virus, you want to remove or keep. This is what the things it gives. That is what the alert I can say here. So it gives an alert to you, whether you want to keep that malware or not. Then accordingly, you will perform the action and it will do that. But when it comes to the IPS, which is nothing but the prevention system, in the name itself we have. Here, it's a detection system, that is a prevention system. Means in that, it performed the action first. Can you see? It performed the action actually. It removed, perform the action. Then it will give the alert action. That is what IPS do. Getting that? Is that clear for you? What is the difference of this IDS and IPS? In this, it will detect the system. First, it will detect the file. Then it will give an alert. Then it will go for the action. But when it comes to the IPS, first it will perform the action and then only it will go for the alerting scenario. That is what the prevention thing. And here we have two different types of IDS, which we called as a NIDS and HIDS. NIDS is nothing but same network IDS system and host IDS system. So host-based IDS systems and network-based IDS system. Okay, NIDS and HIDS. Most of the time they'll ask you these questions only for you. So here there are two different types of intrusion detection systems. One is network-based intrusion detection systems and host-based intrusion detection systems. So network-based is nothing but completely a black box. So where it is configured at the gateway of your network and it protect from all these intrusion activities. Means as same as your software and hardware. Like how hardware, it secure complete network, right? It secure complete networks. This is NIDS. So NIDS will configure to your gateway, and to your gateway we have all the devices. So it is protecting the complete network here, this NIDS. When it is host-based IDS, every system will have individual host-based detection systems, like how I'm having my Norton. This Norton is having the IDS and IPS inbuilt, right? Yes or no? So same on that basis only, your host-based things will work. So it will work within my network itself, within my system itself, not network, within my system. So these are the intrusion and browser protection services. So intrusion signatures, detections will be there that will work within my system only. So this Norton is protecting my system or my network. Whatever the Norton I'm using, this antivirus is protecting only my system or entire network. What do you say? How to secure the systems? Anything suggestions? How to secure the systems? Having a good antivirus and monitoring your Windows securities every time. So I personally suggest Norton. I am using since 4 years. I'm using the Norton only. It's not an open source. It's not free. It's paid one. I'm paying every year 1,400 rupees. 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 1,400 ru So yeah, there is Bitdefender, there is Kaspersky. So there are many, but I like this Norton. Why? Because it has inbuilt. You can see many options. Like it has the browser protection. It has the IDS, IPS internally, and firewalls also it is having by default. You can configure your own firewall rules at there. So I suggest going using this antivirus and not to open any files which you guys are not aware of, not to open any links, not to install any third-party applications. Better avoid them. Then your system will be secure. As simple. That we discussed right in system hacking itself. Right. So yeah, coming back to NIDS, which is network-based IDS systems, which secures entire network. When it comes to the host-based, it's secure only the specific host. Actually, means it is auditing for the events only the in that particular host machine. So they are not as common due to the overhead they incur by having to monitor each and every system events is not possible by the host-based IDS systems, right? And you have the different types of alerts here. So like sometimes you will get these types of alerts. These are the some different types of alerts we have. So means these are the types of IDS alerts you'll get. So true positive is nothing but here uh, the condition where that occurs when an event trigger an alarm and cause the IDS to react as it real attack is progressed. That means true positive in the sense attack happened, you got the alert. It triggered the alert. When it comes to the false positive, no attack happened, but it says an alert. Means it gives an alert here, right? And that is what I told you, right? So you have your own Windows Defender firewall here. Okay. So in that you can set the rule. Just now I shown you. So if you are using the IDS and IPS service, means hardware firewalls, in that also you can write your own rule set. Just now I shown you, right? Fortinet, this Windows Defender, in that I shown you the new rule. You can create your new rule. Or when it comes to the hardware firewalls, there actually we don't have that access to set the rules there. But yeah, they have given some predefined and you can configure your own rule set also. You can do that. Okay. Right. So when it comes to the false positive, there is no attack happened and you got the alert. That is what the false positive scenario. When it comes to the false negative, attack happened, but it didn't trigger any alarm there. Okay. So actually attack event happened there, but it is not reacting to that. Means no alert. Okay. That is false negative scenario. When it comes to the true negative, no attack, no alert. That is a true negative scenario. Means IDS does not raise an alarm when an attack has not taken place. Okay. So a true negative means successfully ignoring the acceptable behavior. So it is not harmful as the IDS performs as expected in this case. Got it? So these are the types of IDS alerts here. Got it, everyone? Is that clear? So the difference between the IDS, IPS, firewalls, what they do. So what is demilitarized zone? Anyone aware of the demilitarized zone? DMZs we call. So DMZs in the sense an external server they implement here. So for example, this is the intranet, a private network we have. So to access anything, you should not give the direct access to the intra-network environment, right? So we need to build some external servers. So whatever the data required by the public users, they'll host it in these DMZ zones only. So where you guys are not having access to the internal server directly. So simply it will send the data to the external servers and get the information from there itself. If anything goes wrong, only these particular zone will affect, not internal servers. So that is what the DMZ, demilitarized zone we call. Okay. So you need to set up a pfSense firewall. So I'll share the resources for you. Okay, I'll share the resources in your Telegram group, or let me share that in the chat itself. Just a second. Just give me a second. So everyone, so just follow the document. So it's your task, also one of the project I have given that. So as a reference, I'm giving that for you. So whoever choosing that project, you can use this as a reference. So pfSense setup actually. So in that I have given a detailed step-by-step process. So if you see, you have to download the pfSense. So from where you have to download, also I have given that link. So just you can go to the Google and search for the pfSense. So again, it is an ISO image file. So just try to download that ISO image file. Okay. So actually it's a paid basis, but we are hosting our own firewall here. Okay. And remember again, for that you need to go with the VMware only. Why? Because to set up a network, you have to go with the customized network settings so that you can do it on VMware only, not VirtualBox. So I have to install the VMware at that time. Okay. So I'm not having access to the Telegram actually. So I'll share to the team. They'll share with it. They'll share that in the Telegram. Okay. All right. So can download from here. So just select the AMD 64 and go to the DVD ISO image. Click on download. It will start downloading the file. Make sure it is an ISO zip file. Extract that. It will be in ISO format. So once you downloaded that, go to the VMware. So make sure before going with VMware, you need to set two settings. One is WAN setting, bridge, and another one is host only. Okay, LAN setting. Okay, two networks you need to configure. Once you configure that, just host that pfSense file and go and follow these steps. Okay, so once you're done, go to your Windows 7. Already have guys posted the Windows 7, right? So in that you need to type this WAN IP address 192.168.1.1, this LAN IP address. Once you click on that, it will open the pfSense interface. Here, the password for that is username is admin, password is pfSense only. So you can follow that. Okay, so you can click on that, go with that. So you need to follow this. So you need to block any one of the website. So I think I have the pfSense. Just give me a second. this is a PF sense. You need to set that. So to set that, go with that process. Telegram group link. So it takes time, but yeah, you can go with that and follow these steps. So it's a project I have given as a setup in the PF sense and snot. So just go with them. So there is a snot also. There is a snot. So go with this snot also. Snot is an IDS, which is intrusion detection system. So you can look for this snot tutorial. So it's an open source again. Intrusion systems and intrusion prevention system, which is created in 1998 by Nod Martin. So it's former CEO for the source file. So you can use this knot also. You can practice on these things. Okay, so you can go with this knot, IDS and IPS services, and go with the PF sense. So set up the PF sense. Okay, so I have shared the document also. If possible, try to download from this chart itself, or wait to until share that in the Telegram group. Okay, username admin and password is PF sense. Yeah, it's downloading. Right, so just follow that. So make sure you have to set up that thing. So that is what the task. So set up a PF sense firewall. Okay. All right. So is that clear, everyone, about the IDS, IPS, and the firewalls? They're very basic. Is that clear? Any doubts from these firewalls and IDS, IPS? Clear, right, everyone? Just confirm with that. In VirtualBox, it is a bit difficult to set up that. Why? Because you don't have any customized network settings. As we discussed at the beginning of the difference of VirtualBox and VMware. So in VMware, you can customize the network. Okay, so these are the things which we discussed in firewall. So how many of you aware of the these honeypots? Organizations are UST in hard. So what is this honeypot? Anyone? Have you heard about these honeypots before? So honeypots are nothing but it's a kind of a trap, you can say. We call this as a trap. Trap in the sense where to attract the people. Like some, for example, you guys are hackers. Imagine. So to attract you people to attack on my systems, what I'll do, and intentionally, I'll keep my system vulnerable. Means I'll open some services. Okay, yeah. I'll open my services. What you guys will think, you'll scan that and you got to know that service is open. So you'll try to attack me. So at the time I can get your details, like your from where you are attacking that. Means I intentionally open that. There is not much sensitive information I have holded in that. I opened a trap for you. So you guys fall for the trap and you'll view your details and your methodologies also. Okay, so that is what the honeypot actually. So it is a kind of a trap, you can say. So it is a information system resource that is expressly set up to attract and trap people who attempt to penetrate an organization's network. So you can see most of the government sites look like HTTP site only, but again, if you go internally, that will be HTTPS. So at the front, they'll make that as a vulnerable, and once you enter into that, they'll track your details. So don't fall for that. So if every service is open means don't blindly perform the attack on them. Okay. So that may be a trap also. Remember, right? So again, bit difficult to find those kind of activities. But again, make sure intentionally if they are open and everything is not secure in the sense you need to think that there is suspicious thing happened here. They intentionally make that, right? So that is a kind of honeypot here. So honeypot is a computer system on the network. So intended to attract and trap those who attempt unauthorized or illegal activities of the system to penetrate an organization's network. So it is a fake proxy which run to frame like attackers to log into their systems and get their access like that. Okay. So if as it is a no authorized activity or production values. So and any traffic it can be prop and get the access to that services. So it's like not kind of a scam here. They are securing themselves. See, simple. So what is the advantage for the corporates to implementing the honeypot in the sense they can easily identify from where the attackers are trying to attack them or what kind of attackers they are or why they are performing that attacks to know their methodologies and their information we implement the honeypot. You getting my point? So it helps in preventing the attacks and even detecting the attacks and even it gather the information and do research about the attack. That is what honeypots do. So what is the use of honeypots? It prevents the attacks, first thing. And next thing, it detect the attacks and it gather the information about that particular person and do research about that particular activity. That is what the use of honeypots here. It's kind of a demilitarized zone, you can say. It requires a considerable amount of efforts to maintain a honeypot. So there are different types of honeypots we have. Low level honeypots, medium level honeypots, low interaction honeypots, medium interaction honeypots, and high interaction honeypots, and pure honeypots. Again, depend. Again, see, again, they are paid only. Only you can get some free resources like honeypot or KF sensors or box. I'll show you one honeypot here. So you can see here honeypots are categorized into means classified into uh, their own criteria. One is low interaction honeypots. So these honeypots simulate only a limited number of services. Means you can open only few services and make them in public and attract the attacker. That is what low interaction honeypots. So here you're not getting much information. Okay. So they capture limited amount of information, mainly the transactional data and some limited interactions only in this. When it comes to the medium interaction honeypots, they simulated on real operating systems, applications, and services of the target network. Means it get a detailed information about that particular operating system. And high interaction honeypots in the sense they really simulate all the services and applications of the target network. So whenever they enter into the target, easily they can identify, but it requires a huge amount of storage and space here. And pure honeypots, they deploy these honeypots on the real production data. The real production data will be there, right? They'll deploy these honeypots on the production data or production network of the target organization. Means there is a risk again. If that compromises in the sense, complete data or network will be compromised. So you need to carefully configure these pure honeypots. It's very dangerous. Okay, so you can go with the production-based honeypots or research-based honeypots. Can do anything. So you can deploy based on the production or research-based. Anything you can detect. So for example, let me take my Kali Linux here. So here you can see you got the IP address. Now you can type that IP address in Google. You can log into the KF sensor. So this is PF sensor. So just type 192.168.1.1. Dot. I think I need to configure the network there. I'll do that later. But yeah, let me go with the Kali Linux. So I have different honeypots that I can go with this KF sensor. Again, not for free. You can go with the KF sensor. It's one of the honeypot we have. So it's an honeypot for IDS based systems. And next you have honeybot. You can use this one also. And now I'm using the Pentbox. Pentbox is a GitHub tool. You can see it's a GitHub tool. You can use this tool also. Okay. There is So this is a low level interaction honeypot, which is Cowrie. Only you can set up for SSH and Telnet services. You can use this. But let me go with this Pentbox. So let me show you how the things work. Just give me a second. Here I got that. So I can log in as a root. All right. So now you can go with that git clone. There is that URL box. Run that. You know, right, how to download that GitHub repositories, right? So just by giving the git clone. So don't know what to- is there the pen box already? No. It's only hoster. This is what happened when you're not updated the system. Now it's done. So now go with ls and check that. Is that pen box downloaded here? Yeah, I have downloaded that. So go with cd pen box ls. So go with ls. So it's a Ruby script. So you can go with Ruby pen.rb file. So now it opened a file. In that, go with the network tools. So select two option. In that, can you see the honeypot option? Can go with three option. So now we have two things. One is fast auto configuration and manual configuration scenarios. So fast in a sense, it will go with a 80 port number directly. So whoever accessing that particular port will get the information about that thing. Right. So let me go with the manual only. Let me configure a port. So I'm configuring on port 21. So false message. Let me generate the log. Yes. 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 So now it activated on port 20. So let me take the IP address of these. 1.19, right? So let me see. Let's see here. When I try to do that from my Windows, so go with FTP and 192.168.1.19, right? So when I run this, it's trying to connect. Immediately here they got the intrusion attempt detected from 192.168.1.13 on port 14240. Now they have the information about your IP. And it gives the browser information if there is any browser or any connections. it will give that information. So let me go with ls. It's connected. If they're trying to access anything, it will show you that intrusion activities here also. So like that, it will give the information. Same. You can go with network, 3 honeypot. Now you can go with manual also. So it's open on port 80. So now if I access that service through 80 port 192.168.1.19, right? So when I go with this port, it says the access denied, HTTP referred login failed, IP address login failed, and you got the activity information, intrusion attempt on port 80 basis, from which host, what is the browser, the user agent, the header, everything you got here. Got it? So means they'll get the information about the your activity when they enable the honeypots. You may think that you are accessing to the services, but again, remember your information will be stored on their system. That is what honeypots do. Is that clear, everyone? What honeypots do here? So they'll capture your activity. Got it? Clear, everyone? Right? Is that clear? So go with honeypots also. So this is your task for the next session. So make sure try and complete the task, and I'll share the document of these things. I'm sharing the task. Let me share the task also. Right. So I have shared the documents in the chat. Like whoever want to download, just download them. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? So just go through the task and complete them. Okay. So we'll stop it here for today. So just go through these things. So whatever we discussed, just go with the topics, everyone. So these are the things which we discussed in today's class. So if you have any doubts, you guys can ask me. So organizations are used in number of firewalls, how to check it, and what purpose are used. Purpose, password you're asking for. See, you can't get that with like what kind of firewalls they're using. You can't get that information. Actually, how would I know that what firewalls they use, what they configure? Manually, I need to go and check that. Or else, I'll use in Nmap, we use a technique called acknowledgement scan. So when your services are filtered, that means the target is using the firewall. When the services are not filtered, it says as an unfiltered, then the services are not using any kind of firewall. So then you can try the attacks on that services. So that's how you can check that, but not remotely. Manually, you can check that what firewalls they use by interacting with the target systems. What build the Tesla? What build the Tesla means? See, no one will tell that I'm using these firewall, I'm using this rule set. No one will tell that. If they tell in that way, that means that is not secure thing. How would they inform you the configurations, man? You have to find out that. You need to check what are the evasion techniques we have. how you can evit the firewalls, what are the techniques we have, like changing the signature values or generating some false positive of the file or encoding that file in number of ways or fragmenting the packets. In that ways, you'll bypass the firewalls. But you can't get that what exactly they're using, what signatures they implemented, or what rules that they implemented. You won't get that. You need to use your own technique to bypass them. Like you can go with this a denial of service or some evasion techniques, or by encoding them or by encrypting them. You can use these things, right? So while you are sharing daily tasks with that, you are giving assignment also now. Without cybersecurity because it appears AML session quiz. See, I'm not having any idea about that AIML scenarios. In Portal, I don't know how it representing AIML or not. But go with the cybersecurity also. It has their cybersecurity. It appears as AI and ML session quiz. Okay, I'll check that. I'll check that with the team. Okay. Botnet, it is a compromised device where they use these things and perform the attack. But no, not botnet based. Any clarity? Uh, is there anyone from Blackbox? Akila, are you there? Anyone from Blackbox? Akila? Uday? Anyone? Anyone from Blackbox team? No. Fine. I'll check with the team. Okay. I'll check that and I'll inform you. If they said today, take the test, nothing will happen. Right? So whatever the topics we covered, we discussed on that part, we have given that question. Go with that. Is there any other doubts? The topics, whatever we covered, like malwares, sniffing, system hacking, uh, information gathering, and introduction to ethical hacking. So whatever the modules we covered, we have this questions on that part on, but something interrelated like that. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's it. That's it for today, guys. So thank you. Thank you for attending the session. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. So go with the task, everyone. Try to complete them. All right. Great. I'm not having any idea about the grant test that will be completely conducted by the team. Okay. So if you have any doubts related to the training part, you can contact. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. See you. They'll share the attendance link, I think. So they'll share that. Okay. All right. See you. See you next session.